Before I begin, let's pause to reflect on the fact that we are meeting on custodian land of the oldest living civilization in the world. This is a contested space, so I pay my respects to both the Yagara people and the Turrbal people, and their elders, past, present, and emerging. My concept for the Green Urban Connector that links Brisbane City Botanical Gardens to Thornton Street and Kangaroo Point is entrapment. Despite non-Indigenous Australia having constant opportunities to see the intergenerational effects of the violent invasion of Australia, we have taken just baby steps in order to move forward without a clear understanding of the past. This building will stand tall as an undeniable reminder of Australia's broken relationship with our First Nations people. My platform shape was made from the inspiration of an Indigenous fish trap frequently in the Maiwar. These fish traps were used with the tide of the river to push the fish into the trap without any control of their own. Each structure placed under over the bridge is through the lens of the Gruen effect. This effect is intentionally creating a layout which is confusing so that the user loses track of their original intentions, therefore trapping them. On my site, each entrance is rotated facing away from each other. So when you're in one structure, you can't truly see what the next structure in your journey is. Each structure, I'm going to zoom in. Each structure is scaled to create the illusion of being larger or smaller than they first appear, causing the user to feel out of balance with their own intuition. Echo and light. The trapping of the wind and the light and the sounds of the rain and the discourse from the riverhood, the users are trapped, the sounds of the rain and the discourse of the riverhood are trapped through the curved walls within each structure. In my workings and diagrams, I found that there were opportunities on site to turn my lookout points into glimpses from outside the trap. The walls are bare to embody the loss of country. The lines of the rammed earth used sparingly to remind users of what was previously there. In a project like this, Septet is always really important, especially a bridge through one of the two party precincts in Brisbane. So public seating and lights are placed at every corner of the structures to advocate the safety of the users. Lastly, in the conceptual diagrams, we've got the missionary cross. This represents the stolen generation that was sent to the missionaries. These crosses entrap the rest areas of the site, so the user is always quite overwhelmed by them. Next is my master plan. You can see that the conceptual diagrams are schematically laid upon the site, and you can see the connection between site A and site B. My two floor plans give you the spatial arrangement of the western proportion of each level and shows the platforms, cafes, public piazza, and installation spaces. The precedent that which guided some of my thinking was Louis Barragan's 1947 house and studio in Mexico City. Alike to the Green Urban Connector, the house and studio has unassuming exteriors, and therefore therefore neither house or studio or the GUC, you're able to see the detail of the interior. Barragan also is very famous for his scale, lowering parts of the wall to create a sense of closeness. I laid this onto my design, using it as a betrayal of the user's first judgment. Lastly, Barragan uses spatial ambiguities whilst in plan, the idea of making the wayfinding very unclear. This precedent reflects back on my GUC as with my use of the Gruen effect. In my public piazza section, I chose to colour the rusty walls and the cross, as the texture and light qualities are what creates my spatial layout. So this section is a 1 to 50 through the public piazza, and you can see the 2 lanes of people running and cycling. My second construction section, detailed section, is through the bar, and essentially the difference. This section shows you the difference in scales and how the exterior shell is significantly bigger than what it appears to be from the outside. It also shows how light is trapped and how light and sound are trapped through the curves of the hallway. My exploded axo differentiates the program of public buildings, areas of reflection and services. And so second lastly, we've got one of my 3D visualizations, and this is the marina. So this is on the western portion of the site, and it's a man protesting against the ideologies of the violence against our First Nations peoples. And secondly is the glimpses, the opportunity of the glimpses between the cafe and the bar. And you can see how rammed earth was used on the interiors. So unfortunately, I ran out of time to do my model in context. So this is my old model, and this is just a very simple massing model without any context. So despite that it's unfinished, I do actually like this because my other work is extremely textured and stylized, but this gives you a really simple diagrammatic but still to scale visual. And that's it. Thank you very much.